Coming into this game undefeated, the Texans are definitely a team to be reckoned with. Will it be another flawless performance for them here in this one? That question will be answered soon. It's the Texans going up against the Steelers. And with that, we'll send you up to the North Shore of Pittsburgh at Heinz Field by the Three Rivers as we headed over to our broadcasting team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Larry, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the steel capital of the world, Pittsburgh, PA, at Heinz Field. Today, we've got a matchup here in pivotal Week 7 between the Houston Texans and the Pittsburgh Steelers. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we look at this Steeler ball club entering play. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Texans, they're off to a terrific start, unbeaten at 5-0 through the first month and change.
And you can hang a lot of this early success on their defense, too. They're the tone setters for these guys, and the entire team feeds off of what they do.
Brown, the lone receiver, left. On first down, it's Roethlisberger. And his first pass is incomplete.
Holding, defense.
So the grab there by the defense, the holding penalty called. They go play action here on first down. And incomplete to open things up. Antonio Brown, the intended receiver. And now it's second down. This offense has some speed, and certainly Martavis Bryant, he has some speed.
He has that, and he has size. That's what makes him so difficult to cover. Because just when you think you have to play him one way, the other attribute kicks in. Martavis Bryant could be an all-star real soon.
Second and 10. It's Roethlisberger once more. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. The defensive crew for the Texans. Here's a look.
When it comes to J.J. Watt, we're about out of superlatives, aren't we? So let's just make this simple. One of the best to ever play the game.
So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive. On third down, Roethlisberger. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Brandon, what we just saw there is something we hear from coaches throughout the league. How are you going to defend what they call the moment of truth ball, meaning a 50-50? The ball's in the air, defenders there, receivers there. Who's going to make a play on the football? And in this case, the defensive guys actually got it done and knocked it away.
And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. I don't know if I agree with that. I guess they don't care if I agree with that. But, boy, you have to be surprised by that, right?
I definitely was surprised that they decided to go for it in this situation. But they must have either felt like they either had a great play call on or they're trying to show extreme confidence.
And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. We heard them talk before the game about utilizing the intermediate passing game this week. It works for them there. They move the chains.
And we saw them work on it in practice as well. And most teams take a period at a time to work on different things. They put a couple of periods of work into the intermediate passing game, and now we know exactly why. They got the look that they were seeking, and they were able to take advantage of it. Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
Now Bell. And good downhill running. He's got 6 yards down to the 13. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Marcus Wheaton was the one he was looking for. And it's 4th and 4. Now Chris Boswell for the Steelers field goal try.
After all the preparation, all the practice, a play like that will absolutely break your heart. They had everything they wanted, just unable to complete it. In the end zone, a big-time drop.
So the folks here in the stands this afternoon, they're happy about that one. Their guys get the early advantage after the opening drive field goal.
And they should be happy. Their guys look good getting down the field, and that's got to give them hope that good things are in store here today.
That'll be taken in the end zone. Oh, little 360. So here are the Texans now with a long field ahead. They'll be led out by their quarterback, the former USC Trojan. It's Cody Kessler.
When Cody Kessler was drafted, many people thought it was a surprise that he went in the 3rd round. They thought he would go later. But when he came out, the man who selected him told the rest of the world, trust me, this guy can play.
On the ground, this is Lamar Miller. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 12-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
And frankly, Brandon, we're talking about things I'm not sure we ever thought we'd talk about in the NFL. And a lot of that is the speed at the linebacker position. A lot of these guys in college.
And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball in this part of the field, any pass rusher will tell you that's his favorite part. Gets a chance to get after the quarterback. It's almost like a reverse red zone. They can create points using their defense, and this time they take their man down.
And they'll hit him for a loss as he's back to his 2-yard line. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down.
After watching that play and result, I go back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator, Brandon, before the game and said, how are you going to move the ball running it against the #1 defense? He gave us no indication, didn't tip his hand at all, so we have to see how this unfolds as this game moves along.
It'll be a 39-yard punt, give him a good 10 yards on the return. And the Steeler offense, they're set up nicely as they take over. The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
And connection number 1 there on the game, Roethlisberger to Boney Tony. Antonio Brown, that's what his high school teammates used to call her.
I wonder what they would call him now.
More muscular, more successful Boney Tony Brown, right?
I'd say you're probably right. It may be all of that. They'll still call him Boney Tony. But Ben Roethlisberger calls him my #1 target.
Oh, ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off by Kwan Williams. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
And Brandon, the passing game for both of these teams is going to be affected as the game goes along. It's not looking like the rain's going to let up anytime soon. So that might mean a few more wobbly passes and wide receiver slips. And this one winds up getting intercepted.
After the interception, here's Kessler. And this one complete to Will Fuller. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
The defense won that play so fast that I think if the running back even had time to notice if anyone was there, it was just a blink of an eye, and there was a loss on the play.
Now it's Miller, and he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they're left with a 3rd and 8.
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. First-level defensive line, second-level linebackers, third-level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a first-level run, and it was stopped by a second-level player.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's Texans football as we get going in quarter number 2. They're facing a tough spot, 3rd and 8 here to start things out.
All right, here we go. Green, 39!
On 3rd down, Kessler. He's got time in the pocket, and he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete.
Offense.
So there you go, holding by the offense, and that'll push him back.
Changes everything now as you try and figure out what your playbook has for you. Longer yardage situations, tougher to execute and pick up first downs.
Green, 39! Green, 39!
3rd and long, it's Kessler finding time. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th.
Partner, how many times have you heard it? Pressure creates diamonds, right? But it also bursts pipes. And on that one, that's what they got. They got after him, and he was fortunate just to get rid of it.
Yeah, he just had to chuck it away. 46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. With it is Brown. A good return there, 17 yards. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
We've become so accustomed to it, you sort of take it for granted.
You really do, but he is so good that every team in his division, every year, is trying to make sure they draft people charged with trying to block J.J. Watt. So far, hasn't been too successful.
And he's certainly not a guy that drops that football very often.
Indeed, because that's a bit of a surprise. I know he's in the middle of some traffic and people, bodies all around him, but he usually has the focus to haul that one in.
From the gun on 3rd down, it's Roethlisberger. Then he locates Wheaton, complete. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Marcus Wheaton, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Steelers find a way to stretch their lead. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
This one taken from the 7. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed, and he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
They come out here in the eye. On 2nd down, here's Miller. Able to get away.
That's why you keep the legs churning.
And he is going to lose yardage here. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
Looking to throw, Kessler. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. A gain of 8 and a first down. Pretty good location there on that throw.
It really was, wasn't it? That was likely one where the receiver was either going to catch it or no one. Really good decision. And, boy, what a catch and move right there.
And a tough spot to get it over the middle. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down.
Partner, we're into the second quarter, and I guess you can kind of look at it both ways. The offense, they've got to figure out what they're going to do because they haven't scored any points. But if you're the defense, you're feeling great about what you've got going on. The only concern you have, if you get to the half, what adjustments will the offense make to try to defeat you?
Kessler now to throw. And that is incomplete. The Pro Bowler DeAndre Hopkins, the intended receiver. And it's third down. And it looks like this will likely be the last play before we hit the 2-minute warning.
Let's see if they can sneak one more good play in before the 2-minute signal.
On third and long, it's Kessler. Gets it to Strong. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Back to Heinz Field after this. He gets it away, and I think they'll smartly play keep away here from Brown. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that.
Antonio Brown, AB, with just one hand to complete that catch. Is there anything he...
Trying to get it to Wheaton, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And he'll bring this one back to the 29. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
And the Texans set to come onto the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense?
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Shamarko Thomas. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. They'll throw on first down with Roethlisberger. And caught right side, Green. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
Okay, when the big guy runs a corner route, you're asking a lot no matter who's covering him. Doesn't matter whether it's a linebacker or a defensive back.
Yep.
He usually has the advantage because of his body type.
To throw here, Roethlisberger. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
Now, he's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete. Wheaton with a catch right side. A really nice gain of 25 yards. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
Here's Roethlisberger. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
So they're still at the original line of scrimmage here. Second down and 10. And with the play clock reading 4, we're going to get a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Second down now after the incompletion. Brown, the lone receiver, left. Second and 10. It's Roethlisberger once more. Over the middle here to Brown. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. So we have reached halftime with our... Well, that came a little abruptly here. Still working on my apple up in the booth. Hang on here. Let me spit this out. And we can get to the third quarter now. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution, or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
Will Fuller was the intended target, and it's 4th down. Here's Drew Butler now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today.
So the defense forces a 3-and-out, but they got some help along the way. They threw it on 1st down, and when they were unsuccessful, it became 2nd and long. Didn't get it again on another pass. Went 3rd and long, and they almost had to put it in the air. They may want to rethink some strategy going forward.
The Texans defense heading back out now, ready to get their cracks again. They'll come out in the pistol. They'll start the drive with a carry by Bell. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. And when you're running the football, one thing you don't want to see is a big boy coming up there to swallow you whole in those D tackles and nose tackles.
No, you're actually counting on your big boys to protect you from them. But on that play, the defensive tackle had the leverage, and he won the battle. No gain, correct?
No gain. 23 yards on the play. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height, sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback has to slide and find open space to throw.
And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete. So incomplete on first. Let's see what 2nd down has in store.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's sensed being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete.
He's got to be kicking himself right there. His team's already picked off 2 passes. That would have been the 3rd in the game. And, boy, they've really played well attacking the football.
Roethlisberger will throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Putting pressure on the guy throwing the football is always good. But when you can couple that with contact on him that leads to an incompletion, as we just saw there, that's winning football.
The 3 straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on 4th. They're going on 4th down. It's Roethlisberger. And Big Ben intercepted a third time. Picked off by the former first-round pick, Kevin Johnson. And they're going to take over right there at the 22-yard line. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. A little soul-searching now?
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal, put them in some tough spots. But what's the old adage? When you get another chance, it gives you a better chance to do it right.
See if they stay on the ground for second down.
Here we go. Green, 39.
On second down, Kessler. Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down. They'll wind up losing a full 9 yards here on the sack. Now it's third down. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
So he makes the grab and the chains move forward.
Nice job by the offensive line giving them time to complete that first down pass.
They go play action here on first down. And that's complete to Luke Wilson. And a nice gain of 21 yards. So on that play, defense was in the zone. They ran a crossing route offensively, but the defense there, you got to be good with communication, don't you?
You certainly do, and it's not something that is really evident when you watch it on the screen. But everyone's talking, communicating, pointing, and it keeps you from chasing receivers because you have a specific zone you have to cover. When a receiver's in your zone and he crosses to another one, you got to let your guy know. They got a completion there, but I like the discipline they showed to stay in their proper areas and then make the tackle.
On second down, here's Kessler. He's got Fuller. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 12 yards there as they move the chains. And a nice pitch and catch to pick up the reception against man coverage.
Both of them read how much yardage they needed, figured what they had to do, and were able to beat the man coverage for the completion.
It's a 5-receiver set. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Throwing now, Kessler on first down. It's complete to Fuller. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Pittsburgh. It's Texans football, but they trail here as we get started in the fourth quarter. Into the red zone now. It's Kessler. That is caught inside the 5. It's a good gain of 11. Sets him up first and goal. And there, the man coverage not good enough, partner, and they're able to complete the pass.
Excellent recognition of the man coverage, and they found the guy who could win downfield.
Now it's Kessler yet again. Oh, no, he lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Here we go. 3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And finding room to work, he's down to the 2-yard line. 7 big yards on the carry there to get him within range of the goal line with third down upcoming.
What a game this defense has played. They're pitching a shutout, so it'd be fun to watch down the stretch to see if their defensive coordinator continues to be as aggressive.
Now the Steelers put a stop to the action with a timeout defensively. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. Gotta have 6 here. It's 3rd and goal. They'll try to punch it in with Miller. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage. Back at the 6. He loses 5 full yards to bring up 4th.
Brandon, it's easy to make decisions from right up here where we are, right in the cheap seats, but let's be frank about this one. This isn't even a decision as far as I'm concerned. They have to go for it here. Field goal does you almost no good as time's running out in the game. If you want to win, you have to be aggressive here.
And Santos able to put this one up and through. It's good. And they get themselves on the board here. It's 10-3. All right, so you needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal then maybe not exactly what they wanted, but it's a necessary first step.
Still plenty of time remaining, but you could really use a stop defensively after the kickoff, preferably a 3-and-out.
Getting set to go again, Ben Roethlisberger marches onto the field. And the passing game, I mean, look at the numbers. It's fallen off. When a team is struggling, sometimes you look at the quarterback. When the quarterback starts to struggle, who goes over and picks him up?
Yeah, that's always a big one, isn't it? Usually, there's a quarterback whisperer somewhere. And what I mean by that is, whether it's an assistant coach, whether it's one of his best friends on the team, someone that can get in his ear, get with him and say, all right, my man, what do you need? What's going on here? So there's one person he can lean on. He's going to have to lean on that guy right now.
Trying to shake off the interception from the... And they get to him with the pressure as Roethlisberger goes down. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up 2nd.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
Now Roethlisberger to throw on 2nd down. Over the middle here to Brown. He's at the 40, 20, 10, and into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Antonio Brown, 84 yards, and the Steelers are going to add on to their lead.
Partner, you know what the real key is to stopping a good passing attack?
You tell me.
Being able to tackle as soon as a guy catches a football.
Didn't work out there.
No, because when you give up the big run after catch, the rack yardage, that puts your defense in a big-time stressful position.
A lot of rack yardage and a touchdown there on the big play. Extra point now by Boswell. It's up and good, and that makes it 17-3. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. This will be fielded at the 6. They find some open field here. And he finally runs out of gas, but not before he's inside the 10-yard line.
Illegal block in the back. Return team. Automatic first down.
On 1st and 10, here's Kessler. Strong grabs it over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. They'll get 19 yards there. And the Texans are going to have a first. A good start there on first down. They've got to have this drive.
No doubt about it. Down a couple of scores. They have to find a way to put it in the end zone. Chunk plays, explosive plays. That will be the key to this drive.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now. Now Kessler on first down. He's got Fuller. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. They give them 15 more, and it's another first down. And this will probably be the final play before the 2-minute warning. Time for a break. We're back to finish this one off after this. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. Kessler now on first down. Surveying the field. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. This spot in the 4th quarter with that deficit, had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
They'll start out on the ground with Bell. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. And now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Second down following the run. They'll go again with Bell. And now the Texans want to call another timeout. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. 3rd down, still 14 yards left. Now Ben on 3rd and long. Wheaton with a catch right side. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. Now hang on here. Timeout called by the defense. It'll be their 3rd and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. So the offense has it 1st and 10. Now Roethlisberger going to hand to Bell. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. So nothing there, but maybe you blame that on the blocking.
Yeah, at some point you've got to win at the point of attack. And on that play, that was all the defense. They made it happen.
On 2nd down, it's Bell. Room here to run. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. That 2nd down run, a big help as 7 yards leaves him with just a 3rd and 3 now.
Well, there's an example of patience being rewarded. Ran the ball on 1st down and got stuffed. Most people would scream, throw the ball here. In this situation, they stayed with their roots, stayed with running the football, and they got rewarded.
They'll try and run for it with Bell. And a nice carry there of 15 yards.
Whenever we meet with coaches and they always talk about wanting to establish running the football, it's oftentimes with a good tight end who can control the line of scrimmage and the point of attack, and they're becoming harder to find because the colleges are giving us a whole lot of receiving tight ends, former wide receivers who can run, not necessarily block very well. In this case, though, we saw 2 tight ends on the field, both of them with the ability to block, and he ran the ball successfully behind that power set.
Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive. Roethlisberger with a give to Bell, fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. And he got half of what he needed there, 2 yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Are you one of those guys that's skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Got your notes laminated, because, you know, open-air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By the way, how impressive